Hey, good morning and happy Father's Day, my friends. It's a beautiful Sunday, and I hope today's going to be a really special day for your dad, for you, for all of your loved ones getting together and celebrating one of the best jobs in the world, being a father. And so many of you, and I take my hat off to you, get your kids out into the great outdoors, whether it's fishing, hiking, doing something in the outdoors, and you couldn't do anything better for your kids given the current circumstances in our societies and communities right now. Getting kids out into the great outdoors is more important now than ever, and I salute all you dads who make a difference in the lives of so many kids. You know, Dan and Kim, they are Friedman Adventure family members, and Dan said, we're going to watch the morning briefing with my dad here. So my very best to your dad, Dan, and to all you dads out there, I salute you. All right. We've got a lot to talk about. Here we are in Surfside, California. Beautiful morning. A little cool, just a little breeze, but it is choppy and breezy offshore. So we'll talk a little bit about the weather. Hey, we had a boat that had 34 Barracuda yesterday. Remember? I said somebody would catch over 30 Barracuda. We'll talk about that a little bit. Is the Barracuda bite ready to explode? Those bluefin tuna. Oh my God. If you were out yesterday, I don't have to tell you how excruciatingly crazy and slow it was a pretty tough day yesterday for San Diego-based boats. And we'll talk, of course, about San Clemente Island, the Channel Islands. We'll have it all because you know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Oh, I'm going to hang on to this morning. Good morning. Happy Father's Day. Hope you're having a great start to your day. And I hope you have a wonderful day today celebrating dads. It is so important that kids get out into the outdoors, and the way they do it is with their moms and dads. And once again, I just want to thank you all of you who do that for your kids. Man, you are making a lasting contribution to their success as human beings. I will guarantee you that. All right, Friday night, the Vendetta 2 is going to run out of H&M Landing, and it'll be Roy Summers' first trip. So you might want to join him down there in San Diego. We'll continue to watch that for you very, very closely. All right, down in the Bay of LA. Let's start way down there because we got some guys down there who are absolutely conking the Yellowtail. They said, there's so many Yellowtail that it's ridiculous down here. And they're catching cabrilla, and they're catching other stuff. A bunch of really good guys. Sal Lopez, Jose and Jerry Avila, Rob, Rick's Fishing. They're all down in the Bahia de Los Angeles, and they are having an outstanding trip. And I thank them very much for providing us with those photos and also for having such a great time, man. I love the Bay of LA. It is such a magical place to fish, and they are having a really good trip. The Royal Star, I just talked to them, and they're headed south right now. I think they're going down to Alijos Rocks. Should be fishing by tomorrow about 12 noon. We'll watch them very, very closely and see how they make out, as there's been some awfully big fish taken down in that neck of the woods this year. A lot of yellowtail, over 60 pounds, and it doesn't get much better than that. All right, let's get you into San Diego, where yesterday was really as slow as it gets. I'm not sure that a bluefin tuna was caught in the fleet yesterday. Maybe there was one or two, and I missed them, but it was just slow for everybody. These bluefin are making everybody's hair fall out this year, not only yours truly, but everybody else. It was a very tough day, and it just didn't improve. So the boys are spreading out today, and of course, tomorrow, same thing. They're off looking around. The Polaris Supreme ran across a bunch of really nice big fish. I think it was last night. I'm not positive on that, but they ended up with 21 bluefin tuna, 100 to 205 pounds. So some big grade fish. The boys are spreading out and really doing their best, and this is when those guys work their hardest. So they deserve a tip if you're thinking about that more than ever right now, because they are burning their eyes out with the binoculars in the daytime. They're up all night. They're getting no sleep. They want you to catch fish more than you want to catch fish. They really, really do. They're great guys. And hopefully things are going to pop up and bite again here today. But yesterday was a very, very slow day. And remember, the nighttime before, Pegasus had a really nice hit. Several other boats had nice hits. But they were down there at 93 miles, 100 miles, like that. It seems like that fish pushed a little bit to the south. But who knows? I mean, it could manifest itself out by Clemente. It could show up in several different areas. And today, Father's Day, is a brand new day. So hopefully things are going to get going. You don't want to get lulled into a state of complacency if you're headed down there, however. You still need that 2-speed reel with 100-pound. Look, I mean, look at the Polaris Supreme with that catch. 21 fish, 100 to 205 pounds. A ray of sunshine in a turbulent sea. And hopefully we'll see more of that. But bring that heavy tackle. You also need like 60 to 80 pounds. And then also like a rod to fly line with. Most of the guys are suggesting 40 pound. I will say 25 to 40. I mean, I wouldn't leave a 40 out of the equation, but if you had a 25, I would bring that in case you hit a kelp patty with some yellows on it, catch some of those bigger bonita. Fish are finicky. And as always, choosing a good hot bait will make all the difference in the world. Don't give up hope. Mimi Pham, who's another great person, works down there at Point Loma Sport Fishing and is the girlfriend of Sean Hardigan, who runs the Mission Belle. The Belle's been having a few good trips here recently. She caught her first bluefin tuna of 2023. Mimi, we love you. Good job there. That is great to see. The San Diego yesterday. Tough day. They ended up at toward the end of their trip, sliding on a bunch of nice big bonita, 39 bonita on board the San Diego yesterday. They're big ones. They are great eating. They fight hard. They are a great game fish. I don't know how they got a bad reputation, but they are a lot of fun, and they did very well on that. Now, the Grande went to the Coronado Islands because they wanted to save me on my Barracuda prediction, and they ended up with 34 Barracuda yesterday. We're seeing more and more gar show up. We've seen it in Ensenada, now the Coronado Islands, which is still Baja, but awfully close to the U.S. We're seeing some fish up there at San Clemente Island and Catalina Island. There's some of that gar spread all over the place. Hopefully today, one of the local boys will get a big hit on that Barracuda. That would be great. All right, at San Clemente Island, not the best of conditions yesterday. It was kind of wind against current, and it really wasn't all that great, but guys still managed to put together some pretty impressive scores. On board the Thunderbird, 21 Yellowtail. Nice fish, too. There's a mix of fish over there, but lately we've seen some really nice, big, great yellowtail. Nice fish. Sometimes it's on the surface iron. Sometimes it's on the yo-yo iron. Sometimes it's on a dropper loop. Sometimes it's on a fly line bait. Things change from day to day, but we've seen some pretty good yellowtail fishing out of SCI here lately. The 540 Slingers Club was on board the Apollo out of 22nd Street Landing in San Pedro, California. Jeff Yeomans, good morning, my friend. It's always good to see you. And I'll tell you, they had a decent day. 21 guys, 18 yellowtail, a halibut, then rockfish and that kind of stuff. And also same thing on the Thunderbird. I don't really go through the rockfish scores. It gets a little redundant. But those guys are able to put a dent in the sack with some of those fish also. Freedom, 5 for 10 on the yellowtail. Out there at SCI, there are some bigger fish. So you definitely want to have some 25-pound, 40-pound, 60-pound on one of those trips. And, you know, I mean, if you're on a day and a half trip, you are required, it's obligatory to bring some heavy tackle. You just never know. Things are really up and down. All right, Catalina Island. So close. It's back there in all that fog or that, whatever it is, overcast weather. It's hiding back there. But there's quite a bit of yellowtail. The Sport King the other day had 30 yellows at Catalina Island. Yesterday they had 9. Pursuit had 9 yellowtail. There's a little bit of rockfish to go along with it. Not bad at all at Cat, so we'll continue to watch that for you very, very closely. All right, before I get to the Channel Islands, up and down the coast, scoping, rockfish, a little bit of bass, cold water year, much colder than previous years. This year is really chilly, and that's why we're seeing scoping and rockfish, a little bit of bass, and fingers crossed for some barracuda because there is a lot of anchovy up and down the coast here on Father's Day morning. That makes a big difference. That is a magnet. You know, like the squid, I talked about that all winter long being a magnet for white sea bass, and we've seen it manifest itself in great halibut fishing and also in great white sea bass fishing. Well, the anchovy can act that way for a variety of species. Those bonita you're seeing, the barracuda, albacore, all those species kind of get sucked in when you've got a lot of anchovy. And in cold water years, we see more of that anchovy, and we certainly are seeing it this year. Redondo Special up there out of Redondo Sport Fishing with great local rock fishing. They did really, really good. Marina Del Rey here I go again, mentioning places. Everybody is getting a piece of that rockfish and sculpin if they want to fish that. Up there in the Channel Islands, there was a private boater out, Billy Webb. He had some sea bass, halibut, also tons of rockfish. Really nice fishing for Billy. Aloha Spirit, 4 halibut, 1 white sea bass. Nothing wrong with that. Also, hey, I screwed that up, by the way. Billy Webb was at Catalina Island with that catch. It was Brian Perlman who was in the Channel Islands. Let me take another sip of this. Excuse me, gentlemen. Brian Perlman. He had halibut, rockfish, and lingcod. Nothing wrong with that. And up there in the Channel Islands, we continue to catch some halibut, sea bass, and at times some really big scores on the sea bass and halibut, and also plenty of rockfish, no question about it. All right, many of you know Michael Limon and his dad, Dan Lightfoot. Well, they hooked up with a guy, Mitchell, who's a fantastic human being. I met him at our surf fishing banquet at the Redondo Rod and Gun Club, and Mitchell took those guys fishing, and he caught, and they're surf fishing now, Michael Limon's first legal halibut. Michael, way to go. And Dan, you are an incredible guy. You're Michael's, I don't have to tell you, he is Michael's grandpa. And man, he gets him into the outdoors all the time. Dan, my hat's off to you. Michael, I think that's your brother too. My hat's off to you. Congratulations. And Mitchell, thanks for sharing the beautiful outdoors with so many people. You are an exceptional person, and I can't thank you enough. All right, my friends, it's Father's Day. I'm going to spend some time with my kids a little bit later today, but during the daytime today, my fingers are crossed that bluefin's going to bite again, because yesterday was a real stinker. No question about it. Hopefully it'll get going again. I still think it's this cold water year, and as we get deeper into summer, when we get into summer finally and then deeper into it, you're going to see an incredible year this year. Fall's going to be great, and I think right on into the wintertime. But right now, it is definitely inconsistent. All right, good morning. Happy Father's Day, and I hope to see you all really, really soon. Have a great day, and thanks for being such great role models and such great dads. That means a lot to our communities. Take care, my friends.